lot of times, these the young kids out here, they're really self-destructing because they don't seem to know where they came from, and they definitely don't know where they're going. Me being an artist and an African American, this gives me the opportunity to do this. I put it all, we're all in the same gang, because that's what this is all about. You know, it's like stop the killing. We're all in the same gang.
Good evening. It's been a busy day in the city. Walks to ease hunger, a rally to fight breast cancer, and the annual Rite of Autumn in Boston, the Charles River Regatta. But in the midst of these battles for and celebrations of life, another senseless death. This time, a 13-year-old boy gunned down while returning from a neighborhood store in Mattapan last night.
I think it was just totally senseless. Kids playing, I mean, they just had a gun. I guess they're trying to test it out or whatever, because both of them, they were just going to the store. They were on their way back from the store. You see, they dropped their bag and just rolled. You know, he rolled, and he said he was walking from the store, and he seen chips fly off the wall. Then he went to grab Poochie, and he said he just started running, went about 5 steps, and just collapsed. And there's no way I can say what exactly happened. There's no way to try to put it in perspective, because especially he's the type of child that he's really a homebody. He fixes bikes, you know, all he does is fix bikes, and he's really like, I guess you call him a mama's boy. He stays around the house, you know. He doesn't, you know, the limits of his world is like right around here. He doesn't really do much else besides go to school.
I can't imagine that. 13-year-old never even haven't experienced life, you know. I'd rather that happen to me, because I experienced more than what he has. Yeah. For life of a 13-year-old, I don't understand. I don't think the fella even seen a gun. I don't think he even seen one.
He was a good kid. Nobody did nothing to him, and he didn't do no nobody. He just stayed to himself. He just stayed to himself. He was just a good boy, that's all.
No trouble.
No trouble. No trouble at all.
I am tired of seeing our baby murdered. Enough is enough. My great-great-grandmothers and fathers, if they would get up out of the graves, they would get up and tell us that too many of us died coming from Africa. Too many of us died coming from Africa. Enough is enough. That we're not going to be killing each other no more.
The mural is entitled "We're All in the Same Gang" because as African Americans, we all have to deal with these same issues as it relates to housing, employment, violence, AIDS, and for us to, when you have senseless killing that took place last week, just feet away from my mural, with a 13-year-old boy being shot down in the streets, it doesn't affect. It affects every African American. Literally, we are self-destructing, and we're almost like rats in a cage. I mean, a cage. We're just killing ourselves off, you know. And I don't know where white America plays in this, but I know that you can't have 12 to 13% go under, which is 40 million people, or 45 million people, and then have the rest of the society, which is predominantly white, do very well. That's not going to happen. Frederick Douglass here was an abolitionist. He helped free many slaves. He fought for freedom himself. He was a self-educated man. He fought hard to get so that black African Americans would be allowed to fight within the Civil War. He was striving for the betterment of African Americans. W.B. Du Bois believed that black people, if educated properly, could compete on any level with white people, and that would be the best route for our resources to go, which would be education. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was one of the few black men that said that black people should own their own businesses. He said that if black people were to go and were to work at their fullest capacity, we could compete with any other race of people in this country and even on this even on this planet, and be rivaled by none. This figure here is the man, Malcolm X, who said, "By any means necessary." But it's funny. I've listened to and I own a number of Malcolm X speeches, and I think that if all the figures were here, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Frederick Douglass, W.B. Du Bois, or many of the other figures in black history that are deceased now, I'm almost sure that they would be shocked at the turn in which black America has taken as it relates to self-destruction. I mean, we had black-on-black crime before, but more black men died in 1980, in the 80s, than they died in Vietnam. Literally, we're just self-destructing. That's basically what I can say. Yeah, that's Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad. Who's that? Nah, W.D. Du Bois. Marcus Garvey had a hat, man. Come on now. Yeah. 2 out of...
That's Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass, right. I bet you learned that in school.
Oh, yes.
We need more black history, right, fellas?
That's right. That looks good.
All right, man. So if you see anybody graffitiing on it, you know what to do, right? I'll see you fellas later. That exchange right there happens every time I come to work on my mural, and it happens no less than a dozen times on the course of being out here, and that's why I'm out here, you know. And I don't know those guys. I probably never see them again, but that's not the important thing. You know, they stopped, they said, who are those people? They tried to name off the names, and who they didn't get right, I'm here and I'm saying, you know, this is X, Y, and Z. I've chose my weapon. My weapon is the paintbrushes. Paintbrushes and paint. And what I would like to do is, you know, contribute to the legacy that African Americans have already laid out, that have been before me, have already done, you know. And I may not make any money doing these murals, but I will provoke some thought and make my mark in history.